Hello, everyone. I'm Danny Valdez, and you have made it to the live signing of Josh Peck's new book, Happy People Are Annoying. Josh has been a working actor. Is that the way to say that? Josh has been a working actor since he was 10 years old. By 14, he was the star of iconic Nickelodeon show Drake and Josh, and today has over 22 million followers across platforms. Josh, welcome, and how are you today?
I'm great. I'm better now. I'm so happy to be here surrounded by me. There's never been enough me. So
I'm surrounded by you too. I forgot to hold it up during the intro.
I'm here. I'm on both screens. So what more could I ask for?
Yeah, man. Good looking cover, good looking guy on the cover.
Man,
bright
I'm trying
yellow.
to
I
keep up
love
with
this.
you. Listen, I hear yellow pops on Amazon, so my publisher says, and I listen to them carte blanche. I let them tell me to do anything.
Yeah. I love your house. It looks a lot like taken after the hotel style.
Thank you so much. You know, it took us about 5 years to decide on this level of detail.
Yeah.
But once we, no, I live at a hotel. I'm staying at a hotel currently,
Okay.
and it's lovely. And if you'd like, the room number, because I like to invite, I'm cool with my stalkers.
Okay.
And I like to, I like to be become friends with my stalkers, because then they're not stalkers anymore. They're just clingy friends.
Yeah, yeah. Just awkward friends that ask you weird questions and treat you cool.
Yeah, threaten my life.
That's great. Well, everybody, for the next hour, Josh is going to be signing books and answering actually as many of your questions as possible. If you purchase this great looking book with this great looking guy on the cover at Premier Collectibles, you actually can ask him a question that I'll get on my iPad and we'll ask that live. If you've not purchased a book yet, you still have time to order an autographed copy. Just submit a question to Josh and click over to premiercollectibles.com/annoying to order your copy. Like I said, man, love the cover and title. Why did you write this book and why now?
So
yeah, why? Yeah, we have a connection. It's all right. Why did you write this book and why now?
Well, I think I was at this like very specific time, like had a wife and a kid, and I realized like I've grown up in the public eye for 20 years, and if we're going to write something that connected with people, it was going to be now. It was going to be this moment where I could feel free to be transparent and honest and talk about all the things and kind of, face it head on and share with people my journey and hope that my challenge and tribulations and a little bit of some relief to people who are going through their own similar journey.
Yeah. A lot, especially young people right now with the way social media has panned out. I don't know if social media intended to pan out this way, but in addition to the fun and games seems to also come stress, anxiety, and new mental challenges that I don't remember having growing up. And I had a crazy growing up childhood, and kids that technically come from great families but have social media seem to be dealing with similar or greater levels of stress. Did you address any of those types of things in your book?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, social media is this wild thing because it's connected all of us. And yet we used to like be jealous of our neighbors or kids at school or someone at work. And now we have to be jealous of Kylie Jenner. And listen,
right.
Deservedly so. She's crushing it. But I think it's easy to look at these people on social media and see their perfectly presented life and feel bad that we're having our own experience, which can be challenging at times. And so I wanted to kind of, pull the covers back and be like, no, guys, this is real. I've been there. Yeah. Let me show you how it's been.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard you say on one of your, I think maybe the most recent YouTube video, that you actually don't want your kids to be child actors. Why is that?
I want my son to do it for fun and really enjoy himself. And if it is, he's really into balls. And by that, I mean like footballs and basketballs, anything bounce.
I think I know what you mean.
I think he's going to be an athlete.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I'm actually super fascinated too you're a child actor and you started when you were 10 years old. Is that something that your mom got you started doing, or something you pursued on your own? How did you get, I mean, why were you not playing with the football at 10 and auditioning and showing up to casting calls and stuff?
I think because I was incredibly thick. I was a heavier boy.
Okay.
I didn't eat candy like my fellows.
Yeah.
And so I think that my to feel like my friends, to feel like I fit in, and to not feel superpower that I had a, which was being funny. And
Yeah.
so I embraced that, and whole sort of new life. So yeah, had it been baseball, football, ultimate frisbee, I think there could have been a lot of possibilities, but of prowess would not allow for that. It allowed for jokes. My mouth
Yeah.
was, the thing that was going to get me ahead in life, not my throwing.
Yeah. Our connection is amazing right now. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Now, do I hear a East Coast accent? Where were you when, you were 10 years old and you're starting acting? Was this New York, or I imagined you were in LA all this time, I guess.
No, I was born in New York City. I moved out to California when I was 14.
Oh, okay. Oh, I live in Nashville. I've lived so many different places that I don't even know what to claim anymore. This is the last place my family came to. And so I'm actually in Nashville right now.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, you have a little bit of a twang, and I like
Oh, you can hear a twang?
it.
I try to hide it so much. I try to hide it.
I try to hide my New Yorkness at times, because I'll like all of a sudden be like, "Can I get a ice? Can I get an ice water?" And I'll be like, "Where
Yeah.
are you?" As deep as Brooklyn gets, um, it's unique, and Southern
Yeah.
people are awesome.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I do try to hide it, but I mean, eventually, right? You can't. I worked construction too for a while too, and man, boy, it don't get thicker than on a construction site. I'll tell you right now. So, what sort
I want
of?
to work construction at least for a day to be a real man.
Yeah, maybe for a day, and you don't want to make your living at it. I can guarantee you that. So, man, okay. So, born in New York, is that where your first like acting started happening, or was it not until did you not really take off till you moved to LA when you were 14?
Yeah, I started doing stand-up comedy when I was 9 or 10 years old, and then
Oh, really?
basically I booked my first. Yeah, I booked my first
Wow.
television show when I was 13, called The Amanda Show, and that's what brought me out to California.
Oh, so cool. Can you remember any of your jokes when you were that age?
No, I know better than that. I've performed some of those jokes before, and people have been like, "Oh, I'm sure it would be funny coming out of a chubby 10-year-old's mouth." And I'm like, "You're right." So, like,
Yeah,
I've learned my lesson.
that's awesome. Well, what sort of problems do you think, succeeding as an entertainer has brought you? I've wanted to ask you that because, from what I have read of your book so far, and I'm not finished yet, there seems to be unique things that you struggled with that you may have not had to face otherwise.
Yeah, I think, obviously just sort of being thrust into the spotlight at a time where you should be allowed to have bad days, and be awkward and uncomfortable in your own skin. And that just wasn't really a possibility. I mean, I felt all those things, but I think the thing that I needed to present was someone who was confident and professional and ready to say my lines on my mark at the time that I'm supposed to do it, boss. And so it was
Yeah.
like, I think that certainly like weighed heavy on me, and something I had to face, throughout my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So wanted to mention real quick, this is a special edition book in that it's actually autographed by Josh. That's what's cool about this live signing is he's actually going to be signing these books. So if this would make a great addition to your collection or a great gift for someone just head to premiercollectibles.com/annoying before they're sold out. And Premier Collectibles is spelled weird. You can see it on the screen, but it has an E on the end of Premier. And that's special until you have to go to the website, and then it can get confusing. So hopefully you'll make it to the right one. Well,
Wait, does the word premiere not have an E on the end of it?
I think the regular, like normally it wouldn't. It might be optional. And then
It
if you're,
is?
I don't know.
Someone call Merriam-Webster immediately. I'm looking this up. I've got the internet.
Look it up for us.
I know how to use Google.
I feel like the E on the end fancies it, but I don't know if
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
yeah, I
Premiere.
want to hear this.
You know what? Well, okay, so the first thing that came up is the Premier League, the English Premier League. Who's your favorite English football team? Go. I'll answer Man City. You?
Tennessee Titans.
That's not an English Premier League, but I love you, and I think that's American football.
I know. Anything Mexico. My ancestry's from Mexico.
Oh, really?
So I have to go Mexico. I can't. Yeah.
Man,
My father's watching.
Is he in Mexico?
No, he just moved here 5 years ago. We reconnected thanks to Facebook. I didn't know him my whole life.
Wow. Well, sorry.
Side
Tell me your last name again.
Valdez.
Mr. Valdez, so nice to see you. Your son's crushing it. And I'm just a massive fan of Mexico. It's one of my favorite places. And I think you're right. Premier does not necessarily have an E at the end.
Okay, but it is grammatically correct. Did you see anything?
Yes. There's a grammar level here we're talking about. I don't know. Listen, here's the thing. I dropped out of high school and somehow I wrote a book. I didn't say that I spelled all the words right, but thankfully I had my publisher, Harper One, to use their resources of spell check. Thank you, God, technology. Hey, may I ask, do I just sign them randomly as we're talking, or will you tell time?
No, just sign away. When you feel the inspiration and it hits you, that's when you start signing.
I'm feeling right now.
Do you feel it?
By the way, this is how I hold a pen. Is that so grotesque?
Oh man, that's sort of like a gnarl claw.
It's a gnarl claw. I'll tell you what it is. It's not smart. It's what it is.
It's hard to watch.
This is why. Well said. This is why I didn't know there wasn't an E in Premiere. So, and I worked at a place called the Premiere on Drake and Josh. So what are we talking about here?
Nice.
Okay, this is what we're talking. This?
Yes.
That's proper.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I use a Sharpie like an old school pen.
You actually get sick.
That would be amazing.
Fast forward like 20 minutes later and you're just barfing into like the hotel trash can.
The thing about being a 13-year-old comedian.
Yeah. Hey, do you live in hotels much? Like because of your schedule? Like, are you do you travel a lot or what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible that I'll, like right now I'm working on this movie. I have a really small part in this cool movie that's shooting in New Mexico. So I've sort of been staying out there and I love it. I'm like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, dude. Like I love living in a hotel. I love room service. I just like knowing that people are around. Like my wife and I recently purchased a home and we're moving in and I'm like, oh God. I remember once my mother-in-law called my wife and she goes, hey, I've been hearing some noises around the house tonight and your father's on a trip. So it's just me at the house. Would you and Josh mind coming and staying at the house? Cause I don't know. I'm just like feeling a little nervous. And I was like, she says, her words, not mine. She goes, I'd love, man in the house, tonight. And I go, so call a man. Like, oh my gosh, if a man is required, I now, fit that requirement. I can't believe it.
That's fantastic.
It's terrifying.
Well, dude, so many questions have come in from people who've already bought this book, and it looks like a couple more are trickling in too. Are you ready to go to these questions and start talking to the peeps?
I'd love it.
All right. Let's go to Edward from New York. He said, would you do a reboot or movie of Drake and Josh with the original cast?
Well, speaking of reboots, and the truth is, Edward, I'm the king of reboots. I've done 4 this year. Nice. I did a remake of this show or a movie, Turner and Hooch. It's now a show on Disney Plus. That was one of the greatest experiences ever.
What's it called?
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch,
the 80s Tom Hanks movie?
Yes.
I'm premium streamings. I'm premium streamings, low rent Tom Hanks.
Hey.
Let's go.
That should go in your bio. It should be Josh Peck, low rent Tom Hanks.
I'm not Tom Hanks. That'll be
Yeah.
book number 2. I so I did that, and then what else did I do? How I Met Your Father. I've been doing that
Yes. On Hulu, right?
on Hulu,
Nice.
and for our friend Edward, I have 2 episodes of iCarly coming out next month.
Let's go.
So I think that's kind of the reboot or the reunion that everyone's so been wanting. And if given the opportunity, if they do another season, I'd love to do more of them, because it's just I'm Miranda's just my favorite person, and the whole cast, Jerry and Nathan, they're just the loveliest.
Let's go to Nancy from Hollister, California, and I'm just now learning that
Wow.
Hollister is
Me
a
too.
city.
I was just thinking that. I wonder
Really?
if Abercrombie and Fitch is a city.
Such a great question. Abercrombie, it's probably in the middle of nowhere too, like, Idaho or something. Like Abercrombie and Fitch, Idaho. It's like, who'd have thought?
I can't believe this.
She asked, what part of the book was the most fun to write?
Sorry, you broke up for a second. Say it again.
Yeah, what part of the book was the most fun to write?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was fun and painful, but I recount another reboot, right? Dawn, and I was 23 years old, and it's a remake of this like 80s classic, and they want me to play this action star, and I like had just lost 100 plus pounds, and I'm like, yeah, you need me to be the man? I'll be the man. But I did not feel comfortable being that man. And like throughout that movie, there are so many scenes where I'm just like brooding, trying to look like,
yeah, dude. Yeah.
bro. And it's like I was laughing, recounting it in the book, like just the level of ridiculousness. It's not my best work.
Yeah. You're trying to recreate that headshot smolder you sent in to get the role.
It's not good. Whenever I'm doing faces, I'm like, what am I doing? Why did they who cast me?
That's so funny. That's like every actor's thing. Like they get on set and they're just like, I shouldn't be here. And they've made a tragic mistake. And the world's about to know I'm a total fraud. And
That's so,
yeah.
good for you. It's so nice to know. Like again, like this book, right? It's like you saying that and being like a little vulnerable, understanding the actor's experience as I'm sure you know intimately. I immediately go, yup. And
Yeah.
then my next thought is, oh, good, I'm not alone.
Yeah. Well, and it's so relatable because if we've been on Earth before, we clearly don't remember it. So like everything you're doing is the first time you're doing it. I mean, at some point, some things become you're a pro at or whatever, but like, man, like the whole like skill to like fake it and improv and like look like you're supposed to be there. Like people don't realize everybody's doing that. Like nobody is just like, oh yeah, the man on the scene who's just here and knows who he is. And like, who's out there? Maybe Brad Pitt. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard my friend Ryan Holiday, who actually helped me with this book. I saw on Twitter, he wrote, no one's thinking you're an imposter. They're just busy thinking about them.
So good.
And I'm like, God, thank you, Dad. I mean, Ryan, like,
Yeah.
the things that, like, I mean, what I can't believe is what short-term memory I have for the things that benefit me most. Like, because I know that up until I know that everyone has imposter syndrome, and it's kind of like a natural thing of being ambitious and wanting to do good work.
Yeah.
And yet seeing that, I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, no doubt. Hannah from New York.
Hannah.
Your local friends. What's the inspiration around this book?
Just like my big weird life that I've lived, having these experiences, and also like when someone writes a self-help book, I find like that sometimes it can be hard to relate because you assume that person has achieved nirvana.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, this is views from the halfway point. This is someone that you grew up with and can, like if I'm telling you at 19, at this moment, I was thoroughly uncomfortable in my own skin. You can trace that back and be like, oh, I remember him at that age. Like, I remember thinking that he had it all figured out, or that like, wow, that's something I would like to be doing. And to know that I was struggling with that at that time, I hope makes people realize that like, oh wow, like maybe it's okay for me to struggle too. I've always been obsessed with finish lines and destinations. And my friend once was telling me about this guy he interviewed that summited Everest, right? And he's talking about the
Yeah.
base camp and the preparation, and then finally sort of achieving that last peak and looking out at this incredible view. And my friend asked him, and when you reached the top, was your father's love there?
Oh, oh, that was unexpected.
It's so true.
That's so good.
There's no finish.
Dude, that is so good. Like, do you open a box and it's just like, congratulations, self-worth is now yours.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good. What would you say is your biggest takeaway you hope people get from this book?
Oh gosh, I just hope that they know that they're not alone and that it's okay to struggle. Like I literally had to be told at 32 years old from my friend Harris that like it's okay to not have it all figured out yet. And I said, really? Like, but look at what my life's been up until this point. And I'm 32 now and I'm married with a kid. Like, must I, like, shouldn't I or must I have it all figured out? And he said, no, it's like it's it's aggressively human to still be questioning what your life's going to be, where you matter, and how you're going to spend the next, even 5 years of your life, but 10, 20, 30 years of your life.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that that's okay. And it's okay at any age, but especially at the ages that we think we
Yeah.
should have it figured out.
Yeah. And you said you're 32?
I'm 35 now.
Oh, 35. Yeah. Like, how many times have you done year 36? Zero.
Right.
You've not done year 36 yet, and whatever project you're about to do in acting or work or whatever, like you've never done it.
Right.
It's going to be the first time you've done it. And that's cool to hear, that you've sort of addressed that. And, I think we need more things like that in our life because we're constantly getting reminded. Like when I'm on Instagram, I've been on a month fast from Instagram because and I've started unfollowing people that I love, people that I've actually connected with. But if they're like super successful,
man,
I'm just like, I'm sorry, like you got my text, like let's text. But to see you like hitting home runs when this has been a rough month for me or whatever, and this month hasn't been, but months have been.
Sure,
dude, that hits in the heart, and something like this, that's like words on a paper that you can keep and go, dude, like here's the people who I think are doing it and who are struggling with the exact same thing I'm struggling with. And here's what they've learned. Dude, that's a big deal, man.
Dude, I really appreciate you saying that. And I have been in the dude, I had to stop being friends with Chris Hemsworth. He got so successful.
Dude, he's one of the ones I unfollowed. Yeah.
Actually, if I'm being honest, we just lost touch because that's how things happen. He's actually like the greatest guy, which is even more frustrating.
Of course.
It was like, it's certainly like watching someone have a meteoric rise and like, it's like, you can't, it's like, and it wasn't jealousy because I like Chris is literally as good as gold, like the sweetest, kindest dude. It doesn't make sense for how gorgeous he is.
Of course.
And yet I couldn't help but also feel like, what about me?
Of course. No, you said it. You thought for a minute, but then you let the nasty out. What about me? Because that's as honest as it gets, man. That's the exact thought. You don't say that thought even to your own self. In your head, you're just like, oh, I need to do my push-ups or something. But the baby you, the child you is like, what about me, man? It's just, do I get to do cool stuff forever?
Yeah, my baby ego running around. And like the good news is like to have known Chris, especially at this time when he got Thor and we were making Red Dawn, like it wasn't by chance. He didn't win. I mean, maybe he won a little bit of a lottery in the looks department because Jesus, if only we could all be there. But dude, he worked incredibly hard, like just from a physical standpoint to be like, able to play a guy like Thor. And just as an actor, like he earned every piece of it. And so it was good to know that a lot of hard work went into sort of that ascension.
That's so cool. Man, I was just looking at the back of your book too. This is people probably can't read some of that, but they need to. Winner, most likely to not make the bestseller list. Winner, most stupidest face. Winner, best author of this book. Winner, not sure this is for us, and winner of who asked for this. It's also good. All right, let's go to Jackson in Michigan. Sorry, Jacob in Arizona. Love you, Jackson. Biggest takeaway you want your readers to gain from your book, similar to what I asked you, but this time from Jacob.
Jacob, I'd love to know what part of Arizona you're in. Big fan of the state of Arizona. I don't know, man. Like I said, I just want you to know that you're not alone, that maybe someone you might have watched growing up, or even maybe for some reason look up to, I don't know why, is going through the same struggles, has faced these similar things. And I know that feeling. I think our minds want us alone, because when we're alone and we're unique and I remember always saying, if you had my head on your shoulders, you'd understand, but you don't, so you can't. Life has been people like being willing to be honest and vulnerable, and me being like, oh, maybe you do get it. Oh, maybe you're jealous of Chris Hemsworth like me. That's okay.
Yeah.
And so it's just that I was willing to share these things, that it could have been easy for me to sort of hide these blemishes. But in sharing it, I hope that I could give to other people what people so freely gave to me, which was a little perspective.
So good. Lauren from California, what was it like being a child star? How did you handle fame at such a young age?
Let me tell you, being a child star is the greatest thing, and there are no pitfalls or tropes or anything to worry about. No, it's just money, 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 money. No.
Yeah.
Look, I grew up with a single mom. She's an incredible mom, and was like really this strength, this support behind me. And yet I think, like, had I had a more traditional family system, maybe I wouldn't have been an actor.
Yeah.
Because certainly there would have been brothers and sisters and a father weighing in on, can we move 3,000 miles away from everything we've ever known? Should he be in a stand-up comedy club at 11 o'clock at night, they don't lose their liquor license? But my mom and I, because we were able to take the path less traveled, and we were able to sort of find our way through these sort of extraordinary circumstance. So it was the right thing for me. And there were obviously some challenges that came with it, but there was never going to be, because once I realized that I was as smart as I was going to get at math, and that there was school's not for me. I better get good at this acting thing. Otherwise it's going to be heck.
So did you finish?
I'm going to start selling mortgages over the phone.
Oh God, help us. Did you finish high school?
No. I'm not proud of it.
When did you leave high school? When did you leave high school?
I left in 12th grade. I have 210 credits, but I couldn't I
left school in the 10th grade because of math.
We have so much in common.
I know, man. I left because of math.
Mr. Valdez is my dad too?
You know what? Let me text him real quick and say, do you have a better looking son?
Yeah, right. I wish. I'd love to have your hair.
Yeah, well, I spent my life cursing my hair and trying to straighten it.
Me too. Wow, the similarities.
Yeah. Anybody? Do you have curls deep down? Is this your secret?
I have I do, but I just have as you can see, I have a really coarse hair.
Dude. Coarse.
Crazy. Yeah, super Yeah, I just very Jewish, coarse
Yes.
hair.
Look
Yeah,
at this nose.
gorgeous.
I mean, if you really like measure it out, my nose is bigger than most of the rest of my face.
You
Like if you
know,
yeah.
but it's like, you know what you kinda have is a little bit of like a Casey Neistat vibe, which is a
Yeah.
good thing. Like,
Is it?
Casey's like yeah, dude, like, Casey's, like a secret, he what would you call him? Like, he's like a low-key hot guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Did you say low key hot guy?
That's I said it about Casey, I'm not hitting on you, but okay, you too.
That's awesome. That's such a funny way to put it because I did that too. I was like, I did Casey's hair, and maybe that's like he's always like this, and I thought maybe that's like hair direction for me.
Right.
If you throw it up, and so he kind of gave me hope back in the day when I first saw him, and I did think that I was like, he's low
He's
key good
certainly
looking,
got like his look dialed in.
dialed, dude. Let's go to Sarah from Oregon. How did you and Paige meet? Was it love at first sight?
Queen. She was dressed as Olivia Newton-John from Grease. I was dressed as a waiter. We made eye contact. She says very little. I think more than very little. I think quite a bit. Her friend Ani was there, who was nice enough to do the alley-oop because she was basically like, I don't know if that's the right sports term. Assist. Again,
Sure.
I'm a musical theater guy.
Yeah.
But Ani like kind of started this conversation with me and then like ushered in her friend and was like, oh, and this is my friend Paige, who obviously like, you know, doesn't think you're the ugliest person alive. And I was like, cool, because I think she's incredibly beautiful. And we wound up just exchanging numbers and going on a date a little bit later. And yeah, we've been together ever since. And we were kids, dude. I was 24, she was 20.
Oh, now,
Yeah.
and do you guys have kids?
Yeah, we have a little boy, Max. He's 3.
Oh, well, that tees up this next question. Liv from Florida. Favorite part of fatherhood, she asked.
Oh man, Liv, thank you for asking. Florida, love to know what town you're in. Big fan of Tampa, Florida. They've got a steak restaurant there called Burns. They have its
Ooh.
own. If you get dessert at Burns, shout out Burns, looking for that sponsorship.
Yeah.
They take you from the main dining room to a dessert room where you now have an entirely new meal, like
Ooh.
with special dessert drinks, special desserts, macadamia nut ice cream. It's an outstanding place.
A room just for desserts.
It's the size of a city block, my friend. The whole restaurant. That's
Say the
some
name. What's the name again?
Burns. That's some Florida stuff. They're like, we're gonna make this restaurant a block.
Wow.
Yeah.
Florida man starts business and takes over city block.
Nice headline.
Okay.
But I love having a kid. I'm fascinated by all of his, little isms, his things, and what else? What else is great about him? I just love being able like to have an excuse to go to trampoline parks and mini
Yeah.
golf and arcades. Because I'll be honest, I'm in it for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's fun. I've got 4 kids.
Wow, you have 4 kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude. How old are they? I feel like, may I ask how old you are?
You may.
How old are you?
I'm not telling you how old.
Okay. Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I walked right into that bit.
I'm 41.
You're 41. You look great.
No, thanks, man. It's I think it's the Spanish blood or something,
Yeah, man. How what was I gonna say? And how old are your kids?
Yeah, from 10 to 16.
Wow, you got started early.
Yeah, I did, dude. And man, wait till they turn teens and start assaulting everything you thought you were. I mean, they are little messengers sent to get you.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, they just challenge all the things that you thought you were and stood for, and your principles and the things you held precious. Like, they come and assault them, and they challenge your ego in ways that I've never been challenged until they became teens, little men.
Oh Lord, that sounds awesome and terrible.
It's both. It's terrifying. Dude, I've done a lot of hard things. This is by far the hardest. Parenting is not for the faint of heart. And I was like, man, as long as my kids were like toddlers, I was like, yeah, there's some messes, but no big deal.
Right.
When they get teens, man,
It's harder.
yeah,
Oh,
it requires more of you is the reason. That's the thing is like the place like you had to make decisions on like, I don't know, on like just a data level, on a push
Protector.
shove. Huh?
Like a protector.
Like a protector, exactly. You're in protective mode or whatever. When they get to be teenagers, you're now dealing with psychological problems, things in them and in yourself, things that they think that you're like, oh my God, if you continue to think this way and act this way, your life is going to suck. And I could save you like decades, and yet they won't listen. And that is such a psychological thing because all you want is for this baby. They're in a man's body now, but in your mind, they're a baby. And all you want is them to like make it and not suffer like you suffered and not repeat, and to watch them start to, and you have to say or do something in such a way that inspires them not to, is such a high calling. And it's been the greatest challenge. But this isn't about me.
That's so fascinating. I know. I love hearing that. And it's also terrifying. I remember once I was like 20, or no, I was like 19. And my mom was like, listen, you're always going to be my child. And I was like, Mom, I'm not a child.
Yeah.
She's like, right, but you're my child. That's how I'm always going to like think of you.
That's
And I was
right.
like, no, you don't get to call me that anymore. And she's like, okay, you idiot. Like,
Yeah.
and I totally understand deeply
Yeah.
what an idiot I was now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. When they're toddlers, it's okay for them to be completely like stupid in a way. It's just
Right.
like, oh, they're toddlers. But when they are teenagers and they're doing that, and you're like, wait, you're like in an adult body, and yet you're doing stupid toddlers. You're still just a baby. And that's, your mom's right. You're just always just in baby mode, they're compared to parents. It's the way it is.
Oh man, please don't tell my mom that she was right. Fine, I'll tell her.
All right, let's go to Lindy from Chicago. Favorite memory from Drake and Josh, and favorite scene you filmed?
Okay. So I would say it's the same. Favorite memory, favorite scene, because we were doing this scene from one of my favorite episodes, which was the episode where we're babysitting this little kiddo, and it's one of the early episodes. And I remember that the baby there's this gag in the script where the baby starts peeing on us as we're like washing him in the sink.
Yeah.
And so we have like a real human baby on set, and we have this little kid that they've basically rigged up this tubing and a pump, and they're just gonna basically fake the baby starting to pee on us. And it's me and Drake and Miranda, our little sister, who's like, right here. And basically they yell action, and the baby starts to pee on us in real life. And Miranda's freaking out, and we're all like, oh God. And I just remember thinking like, wow, I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah, that's great.
It was pretty good.
I love that. Cody from Texas, have you always had a gift of making people laugh?
Oh man. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I was overweight as a kid, and so I wanted to like basically try to control the energy of the room. And if
Yeah.
I could be funny and I could make fun of myself first, I was like, I would take your power away from you.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I immediately was like, ooh, this has currency. This has social value. I need to hone this.
Yeah.
And then as it applied to, eventually doing it professionally, I just saw that like, oh, there's something, there's something here. There's a superpower in this. Like, you can be a lot of things. You can be too nice. You can be too emotional, but no one ever accuses you of being too funny.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so as soon as I saw that it was valuable, and I had a little bit of a natural sort of inclination towards it, I was like, oh, I'm leaning on this thing forever. And it's, I'm 35 and it's not looking good. I'm not giving it up anytime soon.
Man, I totally get that. I was diagnosed with ADD as a kid, and with that came a lot of anxiety that I didn't call anxiety at the time, but I felt it, and especially socially. And I'm sort of like, people that know me now sort of know me as the confident, funny guy in the room. But I remember in the teenage years, making a conscious decision to do that in the same way you said, where it would like help you take power to gain control when you're in a room.
Yes.
Dude, it was exactly the same for me as I went, man, since I have a choice of what sort of character I'm going to be in this room, I've got to be a powerful character. Otherwise, I can't deal with this knot in my stomach and this horrible feeling I have meeting all these new people. That's so interesting you said that.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I think it's natural, and we all lean on the thing that look, everyone's got a couple good stories where we're like, this one kills at a party. But
Yeah.
a funny person just has more of them, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're just doing crowd work for a living, right? Like, but you're
That's
not
it.
getting paid for it, but you're like quickly doing this, and it's fun. You're doing this like quick equation in your head of like, okay, like, where's the setup? Where's the punchline? What would work with this audience? Like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a professional setting. It could just be hanging out with friends.
Dude, actually, I think maybe the main reason I started pursuing acting was because I wanted to legitimize my constant annoyance of people. Like, it's not always great to like take over a room. It's not always great to like perform in front of the group and get all the attention. And, you know, you can be like sort of that guy who's annoying, and it's like other people would like to talk too. And so for me, this is the paid way to do this. Colton from California, what's your ideal day?
Ooh, okay. It would be just him and I. We go to this sushi place every Saturday, usually for like a nice sushi lunch.
Nice.
And by that, I mean, he likes rice,
Yes.
and Dad eats raw fish, and he really likes to like pour my soy sauce into the little sort of bowl for it, which I feel like that must be like, because I know in Korean culture, like you pour your guests or the other person's alcohol. I'm like, maybe my son is like inherently doing something with good manners.
I think so. I think that's evident.
So I like that, and we'll go like do something fun, and then also I don't have to feel bad about it. It's like about natural highs, because I'm a sober guy. And
It looks like we've completely lost connection.
oh, can you?
It looks like this.
How's it now?
Total trash. It's the hotel.
It's the hotel. I hate this hotel. It's actually lovely, other than their internet. How's this?
For like 30 seconds. For like 30 seconds, this was my screen.
It still is.
It still is. You're frozen. Okay, are we back? Can you
I'm
hear
saying
me?
frozen.
Oh, I thought
What?
you were
I can't hear you.
I actually thought you were again.
I'm frozen.
Let's just close the rest of the hour, just like see if it sells books. Okay, we are back, right?
Where'd you lose me? Where I was talking about my perfect day? It was that boring.
Yeah, no,
like the producers were like, this sucks.
Let's do the fake technical difficulty lag switch.
They were like, turn off the satellite for a second so we'll shut up.
Yeah, I want to hear your perfect day though. We left off with he poured your sauce.
He pours my sauce. Then that's going to be the name of my second book. He pours my sauce, a love letter to my son. And and then I hand him off to my wife, because I've had him now all morning. Time for a little dad time. And I'll go do something physical so I don't feel bad about that sushi lunch I just ate. Go on a hike, get in a workout. Then I want to go to like a sauna and a cold plunge and do a couple rounds of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then, can you hear me? Did we freeze again?
No, I'm here. I'm with you.
Thank God. All right. Yeah, because I'm like a sober guy, so I'm all about like free highs, you know?
Right. Right.
And then end it with like a great meal at some like really hard restaurant to get into that I can't get into on my own merit, but I know the right person. And we order a lot of appetizers, couple entrees, we share, but I get to pick, I get to go in first, and then eat a bunch of dessert and go to bed and have night terrors because I eat too much.
Night terrors.
Dude, if I eat, I'm getting old, bro. If I eat too late, I'm like,
Dude.
I'm having some scary dreams.
Dude, same, dude. I eat 6 cookies. I'm low on like sugar and I watch fats too because of like gallbladder shutdown, and I want to keep my gallbladder. And I was having issues years ago. Who cares? But when I break the law, like my next day is trash. But that night I'll have the weirdest dreams, or I'll jolt awake and I'll think that my whole life is like closing in around me and I'm gonna come to ruin.
Yeah.
And it's like cookies will do that. It's incredible.
Yeah, man. Like even today, I was like, you know what? I was on the View this morning, and so I've been working really hard to be skinny. And I was like, I cannot let the View girls down.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as I'm like walking back from the studio, because that's how I roll, I'm like, I'm gonna eat pizza, and I'm gonna eat a lot of it. And I
Yes.
went and got 3 slices of pizza, and I
Yeah.
brought it back to my hotel, and I went in hard body karate, and I was only able to crush 2 of them. Like these are big slices; these aren't like domino slices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't feel great.
Yeah.
Don't feel great.
Nope. A little slight nausea, a little headache. Who
Mhm.
knows?
Little agita, a little indigestion.
All right. I'm going to read this next question like I hear it in my head. Okay.
Please.
From TJ from Dallas, Texas. Actor, father, husband, comedian, now author. What's next for you?
I need to hear TJ from Texas. I'm not going to be okay until I do.
Okay. Because of connections, do I need to read it again?
Yes, please.
TJ from Dallas, Texas writes, actor, father, husband, comedian, now author. What's next for you?
Texas resident. I'm moving to Austin. No, I'm kidding.
Joe Rogan, dude.
Dude, Rogan and everyone else who followed Rogan to Austin.
Yep.
But it is awesome.
Pastor
You know
Joe.
what? Dallas is awesome. You know what? Amarillo is, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
You know what's next? I have no freaking clue. I just don't. I mean, I've stopped making plans like that because my life has gone in so many odd, wonderful, unexpected directions. I remember when I interviewed Neil Brennan for the Male Models podcast, my podcast, and
what's it called?
Male Models.
Oh, that's perfect for you.
Thank you. Right? I know.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, and for anyone who doesn't know him, he's a brilliant comedian, helped create the Chappelle Show and so many other great things. And I said to him, or he said to me, you know, you'll probably get everything you always wanted, just not in the ways you expected. And then he took a beat and said, actually, you'll probably get what you always wanted, but by the time you get it, you won't want it anymore. And that's always sort of stuck with me. So it's like, I know the things that I think I want now, but I also know that for the most part, I don't know what's best for me. And if I just feel like the right thing, it will sort of reveal itself.
So huge, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Jen from Ohio, what's the inspiration behind the title of your book?
Dude, happy people are annoying. I just feel like anyone who's at a default level of joy and happiness, people who don't obsessively scroll on Instagram, who when they say they will, I just find that unacceptable. And I remember I once asked my therapist, Tom, shout out Tom. We've been together 15 years, so we're on a first name basis.
Nice.
As you can tell, it's working. I remember I said to him once, like, are there some people that are just sort of like at a baseline level of happy? And he said, yes, but you're not one of them. And I was like, great, this is what I pay you for? No.
Right.
But I just, so happiness for me, and the reason why I named the book this was like my quest to sort of define what happiness and contentment looked like for me.
Wow. Chad from Missouri. Any cool projects you were working on that you can share with us?
Yeah, I have this movie called 13 the Musical coming out for Netflix at the end of the year. I just wrapped up How I Met Your
Wow.
Father for Hulu, which was really awesome. And I've got like a minuscule, incredibly small part in the new Christopher Nolan movie called Oppenheimer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's the part you play? Can you tell us?
I play one of the scientists because the movie's obviously about the Manhattan Project and the building of the atomic bomb. So I play one of like the scientists named Kenneth Bainbridge, who had a big part. He had a big part in the creation of the bomb, but I don't even want to. I fear even saying it because it's a couple times. It's just like I feel so lucky to be there that it's my pleasure. I would have worked at the snack table.
Yeah, you'd make a great scientist.
Thank you so much. The world doesn't have to know that I failed algebra 2.
No, that's right. Lucas from Indiana, what's your favorite thing to do as a family in LA?
Ooh, so we love. I'm trying to think. Family. We're pretty basic.
I hope everyone else heard that. I didn't hear any of it because of our
No, trust
hotel
me, they heard
connection.
it and they loved it.
That's what I thought. Jesse from Boston, what's life been teaching you lately?
Oh, what's life been teaching me lately? That you know what? Here's the thing about Carmex, guys. This isn't a paid sponsorship, but with its hints of strawberry and its SPF 15, we don't think to put some doing ourselves a disservice because our lips are out there all day, every day. And I think it's time we start taking care of so buy Carmex at your local grocery store. This is not a paid advertisement for them. I'm just a big fan.
This is great. They owe you money, by the way, as licensing goes.
Yeah.
Ava from Georgia, how did you begin your acting career? I'm going to read this how I hear it in my head because she put a word in all caps. Did you ever dream you would become a sensation?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad she put that in caps just so I could watch you say that so beautifully. I started my acting 9 years old because I was not athlete blessed, but I at every turn I couldn't have expected that, which was my dream, or that I would get to make movies that I've done, like The Whackness, or eventually played his son, which I wish I could teleport back to 13, tell him that one day we'll be able to Stamos' kid. Would have thought things
Nice.
out, if I could have reassured us, I think 13-year-old Josh would have been like, put away the second helping of dinner and been like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could not have expected to be where I am in this moment, which is at a hotel with not the best reception. So can we call Elon Musk? Who do we call to fix the internet?
Elon,
right?
it's Elon. Yeah.
Elon got a place in Nashville?
Is that true?
No, I don't know, but he should.
He should have a place in Nashville. He can afford to. I know that much.
My friend, good family friends, have a nice little spread in Nashville. I've spent some time out there. It is nice.
Here's a question nobody asked. Do you think that the reason we're going to Mars is because, like the planet, whatever planet's closer, the next closest to the sun, maybe that was an Earth-like oasis, but it burned up because the sun got bigger, and now...
Sorry, I can't hear you. Say again?
Do you ever think that the reason we're going to Mars is because the Earth is going to explode?
Do I think the Earth is going to explode? Yeah, I mean, but aren't all the planets just going to get eaten up once the sun expires in a couple more million years, and then it'll be like a black?
Because it's getting bigger, right? The sun's getting bigger, right?
Yeah, the sun will expand and then it'll become a black hole and then it'll eat the entire galaxy and then like subatomic particles will get like smashed and pushed and everything will sort of like consolidate and then eventually light won't be able to escape and then it'll explode and then basically all new people, but you and I will be remembered.
All of this will matter.
Listen, we've already put our imprint on. You think they do live streams like this in Mars? I don't think so.
No, sir. No,
No.
sir. And then in that day we'll revert back to our effervescent light selves and we'll go on adventures in the galaxy together.
I think that'd be really cute.
Maybe that's what this is.
Maybe. If it is, look, if this is a simulation, it's only an okay video game. Like they couldn't think anything better than this. Like
Yeah.
jetpacks in our feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And why is it like a swamp in Tennessee in the spring? Who wrote that into the game?
Why do it? It's such large bugs.
All right. Sean from Utah, with your fame, what's been one of the coolest experiences you've been able to have?
Oh man. Well, I tell this story of getting to spend a night with Kid Cudi once, the musician, because my buddy was on a TV show with him. I randomly was out at a club that night, which is funny because now the only club I'm a member of is Costco. And, and he's like, yo, I'm with my boy Scott. I was like, you mean Kid Cudi? And he's like, yeah, do you want to meet him? And I said, no, I'm deeply insecure. And he was like, no, meet him. It would be dope. He's great. He's the best guy. So go up and I'm like, hi, Mr. Kid Cudi. And he grabs my face and he goes, I love Drake and Josh. And I was like, I love you, Kid Cudi. And he's like, come to the studio tomorrow night. And I was like, thank you for offering that. And I know that it's probably not going to work out because celebrities say things in the moment, but they don't mean it. But I appreciate you, at least tricking me for the night.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you know, the next day he calls me and he's like, yo, come to the studio. So I come and he plays me like his entire new album and it's excellent. He offers to have someone come in and give me a haircut, which I thought was lovely, but a little random. And mostly I just got to listen to like some incredible music for the night. And that was truly one of the great experiences I've ever been able to have.
I'm still on that haircut. Like some offer cigars, some offer a drink. Not this guy. He offers haircuts to his friends when they see him at the studio.
Super lovely.
That's so lovely. Lee from Kansas City, Missouri. Hey, Josh, loved your interview with Morning Brew. How difficult is it for you to take a step from the limelight when you want to focus on yourself, hobbies, or family? Or does it all blend together? Hugs for you, brother. Exclamation
Thank
point.
you so much. I'm not great at sitting around. Like I always like whenever someone's like, and this is not a good quality of mine, but whenever I have friends who are like really into a hobby, I'll be like, but does it make you money?
Hey.
Like, I'm just always like, I don't know. I'm lucky. I'm in a privileged position in that like, I like my work. And if I find that if I focus on it within reason and moderation, that I'm able to, that usually I'm able to see those efforts rewarded in some way. And, but I also think it's like incredibly important to live an interesting life and not, I've never been sort of interested in anything in acting other than actually the task of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't, if the traveling and the hair and makeup and all that stuff could be removed and it could just be like you show up on set and you work from action to cut, I think that would be like the most ideal. So,
so good. I
right?
love that. Dude, absolutely. I think, I don't know what it is about acting, but to be able to, I think it's I don't know, maybe the expression or the vulnerability or like a lot of the stuff you do as an actor, maybe you kind of want to do in real life, but there's no acceptable way to do it without getting in trouble. Like people are like acting's all about fake. And it's like, no, it's the opposite. It's all about honesty. It's all about being honest while a camera is rolling and not thinking about what your face is doing, but thinking about how you're feeling and that feeling is coming across to your scene partner and they feel what you feel, and they're able to respond to that. So I feel you. And dude, I want to talk acting for hours and hours and hours, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this awesome time. To order Josh's limited edition autograph book, go to premiercollectibles.com/annoying. And whether you're a collector or lover of books, Premier Collectibles has the best-selling author signed books that everybody wants. If you want to be part of the live signing experience with more of your favorite authors, follow Premier Collectibles on Instagram or Facebook. Josh, how can people follow you, keep up with you, see what's going on in your life?
You can follow me at Shua Peck or my podcast, Male Models, wherever podcasts are available. And dude, amazing. This was so awesome. Thank you for your time. I love chatting with you, and you're really good at this.
Oh, dude, you're really good at this. It's the people that make it easy, and you're one of those people, man. So from all your friends who are watching, from us at Premier Collectibles, dude, so meaningful to me today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. This was awesome.
Yeah, bye, everybody.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you.